Hello, this is James Kilpatrick Jr., your professor of Spanish 102. These are the notes that you will need for Friday, August the 23rd. Notice in your book that on page 126 and 127, the book starts teaching you about telling time. If you took Spanish in high school, you know a little bit about this. Anyway, I want to take you just through a few things. Please take notes because at the end of this, you'll be told what to do with those notes, and then also there'll be a small quiz, and you'll need to send those items to me as a Word document before 11 p.m. on Monday. Here we go. Telling time. ¿Cómo decir la hora? Number one, the question that people will ask you is, ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? How do we tell time in Spanish? Well, if it's 2 o'clock, notice there at the top, 2 o'clock, we need the verb ser. Because it's 2 or more, it's considered plural. So, when you give time, 2 o'clock, son las dos. 3 o'clock, son las tres. What if you wanted to add PM? Son las 10 de la tarde. Notice the use of de la tarde adds PM. 6 p.m. Son las 6 de la tarde. If the sun is still out, then you can use tarde. Noche and also tarde both mean PM. If it's morning time, son las 7 de la mañana. Son las 7 de la mañana. It's 7 o'clock. This is telling time when it's top of the hour. You can also say things such as in the morning or mornings. Notice the use of por la mañana. Yo estudio por la mañana. I study in the morning. Soy inteligente por la tarde. Por. We use por when we're just talking in general. We use de. Nosotros usamos la palabra de con una hora específica. We use the word de when we're talking about a specific time, such as 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2:30. So de is used when it's a specific time that you're giving. Por is used when it's just a generality. Mornings, afternoons. Let's talk about 15 after. When it's 15 minutes after an hour, you're going to say that it's 10 o'clock, son las 10, but then add the word and. Son las 10 y, and a quarter is cuarto. You also can say it's 10:15. Son las 10:15. Son las 10:15. Either way is fine in Spanish. The use of cuarto for quarter after versus 15, 15. 11:15. En español, son las 11:15 de la mañana. That's how we added AM, de la mañana. It's 8:20. Now we're looking at other times. Once it's after the hour, we add the word and. Son las 8:20 de la mañana. Son las 8:20 de la mañana. And 20 de la mañana. That's the AM part. Other time periods. Son las 9:20. It's 9:20. It's 9:29. Son las 9:29 de la mañana, AM. It's 12:28. Son las 10:28 de la tarde. Notice PM is added by de la tarde. It's 2:27. Son las 2:27 de la tarde. Now I want to get to when it's half past. The phrase is y media and a half. So 11:30 p.m. would be son las 11:30 de la tarde p.m. Okay, 1 o'clock is a little different. It's considered singular, so therefore we cannot use son when it's 1 o'clock. So look, when it's 1 o'clock in Spanish, we have to say es la una. Es la una. 1:15, es la 1:15. It's 1:20. Es la 1:20. Why the use of la? Well, hora is una palabra femenina. It's a feminine noun. So that's why we're using la. La stands for hora. It's 1:30. Es la 1:30. Or a person could say es la 1:30. Other phrases related to time. Look at the use of en punto. That means on the dot. Es la 1:00. Es mediodía. It's noon. Es medianoche. It's midnight. These are other expressions that go with time. En punto, on the dot. Sharp. Es mediodía. It's noon. Es medianoche. It's midnight. What happens when it's beyond 30 minutes past an hour? Well, the formula starts using menos, especially in Spain. So 3:50, we have to start saying that it's 4 o'clock minus 10, minus 10 minutes. So here we go. 3:50, son las 4 menos 10 de la tarde. 5:57, well, technically it's 6 o'clock minus 3 minutes. So in Spanish, it's common to hear son las 6 menos 3 de la tarde. It's 8:40. Son las 9 menos 20 de la noche. It's 12:28. Be careful. Es la 1 menos 10. Pardon. Es la 1 menos 12 de la tarde. Some countries use menos. For example, Spain. In other countries, your book tells you on page 126 that they use para, meaning towards the next hour. For example, 8:40 could just as easily be expressed like this. Son las 20 para las 9. It's 20 till 9. So the use of para can also be done. Some countries prefer to use military time. So you may just as well see something like this. Son las 3:30 de la tarde could be expressed as son las 15:30. Son las 15:30. It's 15:30. Of course, you and I would know with military time, we subtract 12, and then that gives us the time we're used to using on a daily basis here in the U.S. Now, notice on page 127 of your textbook, it says some words are used in pairs to indicate from and to. For example, 2 to 4. In Spanish, I could say de, and I have to pair that with a. I could use desde, but I have to pair that one with hasta. For example, yo estudio de 2 a 4 de la tarde. I study from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Or, yo bailo desde las 7 hasta las 8 de la noche. I dance from 7 till 8 at night. Another question we have to be prepared for in Spanish is, at what time does something happen? In Spanish, a person will say, ¿a qué hora es? Then you'll see the rest of the question. For example, ¿a qué hora es la clase de español? At what time is Spanish class? Well, the answer needs to have a in it. The question has a. The answer will have a. La clase de español es a las 11 de la mañana. It's at 11 o'clock in the morning. La clase de español es a las 10 de la mañana. Again, la clase de español es a. I need that a in there. When someone says at what time is something, your answer needs to have, well, it's at thus and so o'clock. Thus the use of a in the answer. If you say midday, that expression is a masculine word. Mediodía, el mediodía. When you say a, the next word has to combine with el. It produces the word al. Mi clase es al mediodía, at noon. And the next word being el cannot be written back to back. They must form a contraction. Mi clase es al mediodía. My class is at noon. Midday, if you will. Okay, here's your homework. I need for you to send me your notes over this lesson. This lesson is about telling time. Send approximately 8 to 10 sentences of notes. Okay? Nothing special. That's going to serve as letting me know you watched this. Plus, you must include the answers to a couple of questions that I have below. Here's how it'll work. The question is, ¿Qué hora es? Write out the sentence in Spanish to tell me what time it is to the following items. And again, you will send this to me as an attached Word document to my email address, kilpatrick-j@mssu.edu, before 11 p.m. on August 26th. That's Monday. I need for you to write out what time it is. I've got 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 8:49 p.m., 1 a.m.